Hi guys, I'm Pippa Phillips and welcome to my Needle and Threads Facebook page. This is about teaching people to sew. In this particular video we're going to be looking at my face mask design. I'm going to do a quick overview of how to adjust your pattern to make it fit perfectly. And we're going to have a quick look at how it's made. If you are a complete beginner to sewing, then watch the next video as well, and that will give you a step-by-step guide on how to machine sew it or hand sew it if you don't have a sewing machine. So let's have a look at the mask. I've used lots of masks on the internet and tried them. What I wasn't happy about is often there was a lot of gapping here. Some of the designs there was gapping around here. So I wasn't happy with it. So I've come up with my own design which fits quite snugly round the nose, under the chin, and I've used some comfy straps as well. So I'm just going to move the camera over to the pattern. Okay, here we have your free pattern. Now I've done some generic sizes here, but of course everybody's face is different, so this is just a rough guide. I suggest then that you cut out what you think is your size. Just move that out the way. And then you cut it out. You bring those pieces back together. Stick them with a little bit of sellotape. Like so. Before you cut your fabric out, so you're not wasting fabric and making lots of them. So we've got a rough shape then of our mask, and we can try that on our face at home. So this one is too big for this model, so we would want a smaller one, but you get the idea. So let's look at people's face shapes then. You might take out this one and then find that you've got a very big full face and you need it bigger. So I suggest then that you just actually enlarge the whole pattern, which is what we've done here. So we've got a fuller, bigger mask. But what happens if you've got a big nose and it doesn't sit comfortably around the nose? So the top of this pattern's easy to identify. They've got points. The bottom goes round in a curve. So if we take the top dart, we move it down, not much, just a little bit, and then apply my ruler. We go from the top point, move it up, and create ourselves a new dart. Oops, that didn't quite show. That is going to make your dart deeper when it's finished, and so this piece is going to be much longer around the nose area. If you've got a wide face or a long chin, you can cut this pattern in the middle and elongate it or shorten it, however. So there's some ideas on how you can adjust this pattern to make it fit perfectly. Use your paper model, get a perfect fit before you start cutting out your fabric. When you cut out your fabric, I'm using red sewing thread here, so you're going to be using the colour of your fabric. I folded them right sides in and I've machined and lock stitched along the darts on both of them. We open them up, so it's quite a simple construction, and then we match up the two darts together, and using a pin, I'm just going to pinch my models, we pop it in and then the bottom. We pop it in. Make sure you got it the right way up, so your point's that side and your curves that side. And then we're going to machine all the way along here, but we're leaving these side bits open. So here we have that one already stitched. So we've stitched all the way along the top, all the way along the bottom, and then we need to turn this inside out. Like so. Now just check that you haven't missed any of the stitching, there's no gaps. When you're ironing, use the edge of scissors, get inside and push out those seams as you're ironing so that you get a nice line there. So give the whole thing a press. I'm making reversible ones here, so we've got dark blue for men and we've got light blue or turquoisey blue for ladies. So the ends here that you've left open, again using your iron, fold those in and give them a nice press so that they stay nice and flat. Looking at fastenings, so I've got a whole selection of bits here. I've got some cord here. This is elastic cord. It's quite thick and it's very uncomfortable round the ears. I've tried these for 20 minutes wearing them. So I've got a thinner one here. It's a little bit thicker than the toy face mask one. That one's much more comfortable to put in, and we could use that, or we could just use the standard knicker elastic, and that's not too bad, and we can pop it on there. If you don't have elastic, you could use just some cord and put some cord straps so that you actually tie it round the back of your head. But what I've used is some t-shirt knitting yarn. I got it off eBay, and I found, because I get a little bit of psoriasis around my ears, this is so much more comfortable to stitch in and wear around your ears. So that's what I'm using on here, but you could use any or all of the elastics that I've shown you, or again you could use a cord. If you're going to use a cord, just remember about your raw edges, so that each time that you put it in the washing machine, it's not going to fray your cord. So we pop those ends in and then we stitch up. We give it another hot press and we're ready to go. That is your face mask made. So let's have a look at fabrics then. There's some pretty fabrics on the market. This is the one that I wear personally. It has been washed dozens of times. Your face mask needs to be washed in a very hot wash every time you wear it. So a 60 wash, a hot blast with a dryer if you've got one. If you don't have a washing machine, you can boil them up on a saucepan. But that's the important thing. These are only supposed to be worn once, and then you need to wash them. So we need a fabric that is a hard wearing fabric, and cotton is the most popular choice. Interestingly though, some scientific research I have read on the internet has said about using mixed fibre cloths. So a cotton on the front and perhaps a polycotton on the back. And they said that that was much better at stopping germs passing through your mask. if you want to try that, just remember that cotton shrinks. So pre-wash your cotton, a hot wash, a hot dry before you make your mask. Because if you're going to use something like a polycotton, that won't shrink, but this will. So you need to pre-shrink your cotton. So other people have said to me that they use interfacing in their masks, and we've got a couple of interfacing here. So what sort of interfacing would you use? You would probably be thinking of using a thicker one. This will make your mask keep nice in shape and nice and firm. But really, interfacing, you should be using an interfacing the same sort of thickness as the fabric that you're going to use. I don't use an interfacing. So 2 reasons why I don't want to put an interfacing on it. These are going to be in hot washes on a regular basis, and I don't think that the interfacing is going to stand up to a lot of hot washes. And also breathability. You still need to be able to breathe comfortably in your mask. The more layers of fabric you put in there, the more uncomfortable it will be to breathe with them. So we've had a little look at different types of changing the mask, making it longer. You can bring your straps back if you've got a large face. But what happens if you've got a beard? Or, like me, you don't like wearing a mask? I particularly like these shopping masks. So it's a 50 centimetre square of jersey that has been made into a little snood type thing that just pulls up over your face. These are good if you've got facial hair. So if you've got a beard, you've got a moustache, this is the sort of thing that you should be wearing. These sort of masks are not going to be effective because your facial hair is going to stick out and create a problem. So we're going to look at the little snood mask a little bit later in another video, but it's just another one. I like wearing those. They're nice and comfortable to wear. You don't have to wear them all the time. You can just pull them up as and when you're in a crowd. So I hope you like this little video. If you are completely new to sewing, I want you to watch the next video where we're going to do it step by step with the sewing machine. For those of you that can sew, you will have understood the instructions that I've given you in this tutorial. The next video also looks at chain stitching. So if we're mass producing lots of masks, I've made lots and lots, we look at a chain method. So for speed stitching your masks together. So hope you all stay safe and see you in the next video.